Do you feel like the mad scientist?
A little. It's a little crazy.
The mad engineer. It's alive!
Yeah. All right. Ain't no coming back from that. Slide it on here. And
I got the basics of my radiant heat system assembled, but there were some changes that I wanted to make it more efficient and to set it up for easy expansion in the future.
there we go. That is about perfect. That's exactly what I need. It leaves me a foot before I get to the spin filter. That's my in, that's my out. Cool. Let's finish this. Yeah, that's not right. Okay.
All right, it is pigtail time. I have been looking forward to this. Everything is set up for the propane to go from the tank to the house. I have propane. I need one more piece to the puzzle. That is my stage 1 regulator, and that is my POL valve. This is my pigtail. My pigtail goes from the regulator to that POL valve. So I got to figure out how to get the bend in this thing. I've got a 5/8 piece of copper going there. I got to get the bend in here to go into here. I wish I could put a little corkscrew in this thing and go that way. Now the first thing I have to do is get this in here.
The time has come to pump some water into this system. I have a little fountain pump and a 5-gallon bucket. I have distilled water here.
I'm going to speed this up so we can get this done quickly. I've set the system up and I've got a pump with a 5-gallon bucket. That pump is supposed to send the water through that 1-inch pipe that you can see and to my first zone. I only have one zone set up, and that zone is 1,200 feet of 1/2-inch packs. If my calculations are correct, 14 gallons should be enough to fill that 1,200 feet.
Go the other direction. I hadn't even thought about that.
I'm going to freely admit that I don't have everything figured out here. I've done a lot of reading over the last few years. But as I'm getting this thing ready to go, a lot of what I am doing is simply taking what's in the manual and looking at what other people have done and trying to put those together.
Pump. The water's not going anywhere. Water's going down here.
Okay.
It should be coming back up through this one, but it never did.
Like a lot of things we've experienced building this house, our expectations aren't always matched to reality.
I guess next time I need a stronger pump.
The owner's manual outlines this sort of an introduction of water based upon your mixture that's partly glycol. The glycol would be to keep it from freezing in areas of the country where it gets well below zero and your floor might drop down below 32 degrees. That isn't really a concern for me because I don't think that's going to happen in our area.
Do you feel like the mad scientist?
A little. It's a little crazy.
The mad engineer? Hercules!
Yeah, it ain't gonna last long. I'm already tired.
Oh.
Little bubbles. Bubbles are a good thing though, because we weren't getting those before.
Oh, something broke loose.
Anything still in there?
Yeah, I'll do that again.
You're gonna hurt your head.
We tried a lot of different things to try to get the water to go in. And eventually we got all the 14 gallons that we had into the system. I even had to go add a couple gallons of tap water. When it stopped going in, I decided to plug in the system.
No.
And that's kind of when things went sideways.
Plugged it in. What is going on? What did I do? Alright, I hear my water pipes going crazy. Too much stuff going on all at once.
The Rheem combination boiler has an autofill feature. Just in case you lose some water, it'll help fill it back up and keep everything running the way it's supposed to. Well, that feature kicked in, and what I didn't notice was that it had not only filled the internal system, it was looking for a way to get rid of that water.
To make sure I don't have water leaking anywhere from turning all that on. Water's coming out everywhere. What the? What the? Well, I went around the house to see if I had a water leak and I found it. Holy crap. Alright, let me turn this off for a second. What the? Well, that's not what I was expecting. I gotta clean this water up. Now I am tempted, let me tell you, pig-headed and all, I'm tempted to go outside with a flashlight, turn the propane on, dab my little leak detector stuff on everything just to make sure everything's good, and come in here and see if I can get this thing fired up. But I think what I'm going to do is unplug it and go home. And I'm just going to take the win for having gotten it filled and figuring out that I was completely wrong. And after I read and do a little more research, I'm going to come back here and fix this. I'm back. It's been a couple days. I've had an opportunity to read the manual multiple times, talk to a couple of people. What I did was fine. Getting the system loaded, and then turning this system on, actually turning it on. What I should have done though was you load it, then you stop, close your valves, then you turn this on. This had more pressure and water flow than my pump did, and as it fills the system, I had an open valve here where the pump was connected, and it pushed through that, past my pump, out of the bucket, and all over the place. So, learned something, but all I really had to do, now that I've done the reading, is turn it on. Open the water line and turn it on, because this is my water line coming in here. I've got a little spin filter trying to make sure if there's any debris that kicks up out of the well, it'll go in there. But this line right here goes to an autofill to fill the boiler. There are instructions in the manual about adding water to this. That you can use these valves. Instead of putting valves up here, I could simply use these valves right back here. So I could use those valves right there that are on the boiler part of the system, and I could just add the water in and take the air out from the other side, and it would be fine. But since I'm not using glycol, I don't even need to do that. What I found out is I can just turn the system on, just plug it in, turn it on, it'll come on and autofill, and as it's going around, it'll purge the air out of here. Now, to start with, I would probably want to have a hose here and this valve open to allow the bulk of the air out. But then once it got to that point where water was coming out, I would close that and let it complete the process. There's a right way to do these things and there's a wrong way. What I demonstrated was certainly not the right way and certainly not the easy way. But we got it done. I also discovered 2 small leaks. I had a leak here and I had a leak on one of these valves down there. I have fixed both of those. It looks like everything is good. I had the system on earlier today, had it running through and purging air. There's still little bubbles here and there, but for the most part, it has purged the air out of the system. I'm going to turn it on. On a day like today, I don't want to have heat in the floor at 180 degrees. I am going to be having to go through the manual here because I don't know how these buttons work or what I'm doing with them. But I do need hot water, and I got to get that online. For the 3rd time, our range is being delivered today, and I'm crossing my fingers that 3rd time's a charm, and they actually deliver one to us that is not broken. Let's see here. All right, I'm putting a little of this leak detector on here. I just hooked that pigtail up. I want to check for leaks. I'm using a dab-on leak detector as well as a fancy little handheld leak detector and my nose. Using my proboscis. Alright, so gas line comes in here. Nothing there, nothing here. These joints are still good. The reality is, because that is closed, the gas will push its way through if there's a way for it to get through. And since this is closed and filled with air,
there's really no way for it to get through. I was hoping to have the range installed today. It's supposed to come. This is the 4th appointment I've had to have the range installed. They canceled on me once and I rejected the other 2. And then today they called to let me know that the truck broke down and they've got to get it towed back in, and they're going to try to transfer everything to another vehicle and deliver it this weekend. If they can't deliver it, they can't deliver it. There's nothing they can do about that, but this is number 4, which means there's going to be a 5th time that they're delivering to me something that should have been gotten right the first time. Without propane, I can't have hot water. I can't test this system. I don't even know if this thing works. Which means I've got to figure a way to get that propane out of that line. And my plan was to hook up the propane stove, open it up, let the gas run through the line until it got there. Then I would fire it up on one of the burners. I'd know it was there because I'd be standing there, I'd smell it. I think what I'm still going to do is I'm going to go over to that gas line, take the plug out of the end of it, open that little ball up, let the air purge from that line and close it back up. And then the entire line will be filled with gas, and the only thing that'll have to be purged is this bit of air right in here. And I can probably do that by firing up the boiler. That's my theory. All right. I'm sure this kind of thing gets done by people all the time, but it's never been done by me, and it seems a little sketchy, but I'm gonna do it just the same because I gotta get some hot water in this house. All right, let's take this out. No, well, that wasn't even set in there, was it? Guess I never tightened that. Well, I'll turn this on. That was a lot. I'm sure I'll smell it when it comes through. It has an amazing amount of volume in that 3/4 inch pipe. I can smell it. Close that up some. Let's go back here and play with the furnace. All right, that turns it off. This puts it in installer mode. I got the water turned on in the sink in the bathroom, but I've never turned on that line in here before, so there's actually no water flowing to it. When I open this valve, which goes to the bathroom, it'll start moving water through that red line. As it pulls water through, the theory is that the water coming out, the cold water coming in, hot water going out, the water moving through there should set off a sensor and make this thing try to start up. Oh, look at that. It's doing something. That is the heating activated icon. But there's no fire here, so I can't have any kind of heat going on because nothing's firing off. I am not knocking it out of the park today. Why don't I have power? What just happened? I had the water turned off under the sink. So I'm gonna try this again. I've got it turned on under the sink. I'm gonna turn this valve back. Hopefully this thing will do something. All right, water's starting to move. Water's going to the other room. I can hear the water going through here. I hear it doing stuff here. Water pump's going. Got different stuff in here doing stuff. Come on. It should fire up. Come on. Whoa, what we got here? That is fire, baby. Right there. That blue, that pretty blue, right there. It may not show up, but that is fire. We have ignition. Oh yes. Now, the question is, do we have hot water? What we got here? It's getting warm. That's warm water. I wouldn't call it hot. But it's, oh, there we go. Starting to warm up now. Nice. That is warm water. In fact, that is the first warm water I've felt in this house. That's all right. We have hot water in this house. That is step one. This, I can't hide it. I'm happier than a pig in crap. That's step one. Step two. I need to turn on the water supply to the other side of the house. This is the hot water supply to the other side of the house, and that has not been on yet. All right? And so that's going to cause it to fire up a little bit, I think, because that line, those lines over there have been empty. They should stop running. There we go. And that's fired up. That is burning, and now it's stopped. It went out because it is no longer needed. I'm gonna go to the other side of the house and find out what happens if I turn on the water. And that's hot. Well, it's gonna make a lot of blowing noises first. Gotta purge. It's already warm. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the shower. Let it purge. That's amazing. We have hot water. I don't even know what to say. I'm happy. I'm gonna figure out how to turn it up just a little bit because I think it's preset for 120. It's warm. I wouldn't call it hot, but it's warm. So I want to figure out how to get it so it's actually hot. Not scalding hot, just hot. And then I have to do everything else. Hello, lady.
What you doing?
I am making electrical outlets to go into the electrical boxes. Come see your mirror. Your mirror's here.
You already put it up.
No, I didn't put it up. I can't put that thing up. That's huge.
It is massive.
It is massive.
Gosh.
It's gonna be big. We gotta get this stuff out of here.
Okay.
All right. You have to count to 60, I think. Probably takes 30 to 60 seconds before it actually gets hot. It's instant hot water. It's just not instantly on this side of the house.
It's really warm. Oh my gosh, you did it.
I haven't figured out the heat, but I've got hot water.
It's hot now.
Yeah, it's hot. I'm saying I don't know the heat in the floor. I haven't figured out how to program that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I gotta read the papers on that.
Well, what does that mean? It is doing it, or we don't know how
Oh,
to
it'll
do it?
work. I just don't know how to make it work. I've got to read the instructions.
Okay. Oh, you did it. You did it, though. That's nice. Very nice.
Hot water too.
Oh my gosh, you can take a shower.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And that's hot already now.
Right, because it ran over here. Oh, this floor looks so good. Wet. Like that's a really nice looking floor. Nice, babe. And that's the mirror.
Yeah, that's the
Did you open it?
mirror. I opened it at the store to make sure it wasn't broken.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge.
That's a big mirror.
Well, we got to figure out where it's going.
Okay.
So that's where that is. Alright, so this is where I am. You come down.
Awesome. Boom. Wow, that makes a statement.
Got a fingerprint there.
That makes a huge statement. Off? How's it possible?
Because it drifted. I told you it drifted. And I had to adjust for it. So it's
Oh my gosh, seriously? That's
Yeah.
great.
from one side to the other, we're about. You're in the way.
Hey, I'm worried about the tile.
I'm not worried about your tile. I'm worried about how far off I was. A little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. So.
That's great. And it's like, it's very
That's
loud.
pretty good.
I'm supposed to-
That's pretty darn good.
Good job.
Yeah. And we got water, which is. Oh, what a day.
Yeah. No stove.
No stove.
Oh.